after Tahajjud, you might be able to finish in an hour what somebody else can finish in a day. Because the believing woman in heaven, she looks at earth, the hijab will have a light or nur be more stronger than the light of the sun. Because what? Because you have suffered the way to keep the way to keep your deen. Most of our organizations nowadays are very happy to thrive on the catastrophe or on the agony. This is actually very emotional and can raise the millions of pounds. Some of them, I'm not saying all of them, do not come out of this. This stick is still stuck inside it because it brings money. This is wrong. Yes. We did not have any office. We did not have any desk. We were legging it door to door. Don't hypothesize. Wait for the big man to give you the money. What's after delivering the food, the water, the clothes? What's next? The biggest problem in Syria now is to clear the rebels. Failure is the first step of success. Nobody tried and succeeded from the first step. Allah has taught Adam the names of all the subjects needed to inhabit earth, to construct life on earth. And this knowledge is in you, but you need to discover it.
Assalamu alaikum and welcome to Tahajjud Conversations, the podcast where we explore the spiritual engine behind transformative work, and which is the night prayer, and how it propels believers such as Dr. Hani and myself towards clarity, purpose, and success. Today, I am deeply honored to be joined by someone who has impacted millions around the world, the founder of Islamic Relief, the one and only Dr. Hani. We'll be discussing the power of Tahajjud in his life, lessons from his decades of service, his current projects, and also share a few personal stories about our own journey together. Dr. Hani, Assalamu alaikum and welcome.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Most welcome. Most welcome.
Where are you today? Where are you? I'd like to know.
I am at home. I just came back from Syria, my second visit to Syria.
MashaAllah. Yeah, we are going to be getting to that as well. I've got some questions about Syria. But before we get to that, I want to talk about the topic. We're going to get right into it. The topic of our podcast is Tahajjud Conversations. Firstly, what was your impression when I told you about Tahajjud Conversations? What was your first impression?
Tahajjud is a very personal, intimate relationship between the individual and Allah.
So what did you think about the topic then?
The topic is very timely, needed for people to use it, especially young people, because quite often we think that when we finish the 5 pillars of Islam, which are the foundation of Islam, we have done justice for Islam. Quite a lot of young people do not realize that those 5 pillars of Islam are the foundation of Islam, not the Islam itself. The Islam is built as a building on top of the 5 pillars of Islam, which is the foundation. The Tahajjud is one of the cementing power which can bring those 5 pillars together. So because Tahajjud is nobody can see you unless Allah and the angels. Even sometime in the Tahajjud, you might be making prayer that the angels cannot hear. And this will be the utmost. And just say it loudly so the angels can write what you're saying, but you can say whispering to yourself, to Allah. Of course, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows what you're whispering, and the angel will not be able to understand what you're talking about, but Allah will. So Tahajjud is this kind of selfless prayer and to Allah with no reward from people who can see you and say that yes, Sister Atia is very good woman, Brother X is very good man. No. Because you are alone and nobody can see you apart from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who sees everybody, as well as the angels, and even some of the prayers which is the invocation or the supplication.
Mm.
Don't want the angel to hear them. Don't hear them. Don't let them to hear that.
Well, that part I didn't know.
No, no, because now I'm telling you, listen to me now. Can you hear me?
No.
That's it. The angels will not hear me.
Wow. But I didn't, yeah, I never really thought about even that question, like, will they hear me or not? Because for me, it was just me and Allah. We're here. Just Allah and I are here.
Yeah, and Allah is everywhere. You and Allah and the angels. But you and Allah alone, when you ask Allah something personally, secretively, and the angels cannot hear you.
Mm. And you know what I have experienced in my life of doing this tahajjud, there have been times when I'm not even asked, I've not even said the words, I've not made a dua for it, but I felt it. I felt it in my heart, and Allah responded to it. So I didn't even say the words.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or there have been times when I've actually said it to somebody during tahajjud time. That, oh, I wish this could happen, and it happened.
Yeah. And tahajjud should not be the whole night.
Yes.
Even if you are very busy, if you are tired, if you can just do 2 rak'ah, maybe 10, 15, 20 minutes, because this is what you can do because of your time schedule.
Yeah. Yeah, I do too. I do the minimal, but I do it twice. I have this strange thing that I do, right? I think I'm the only one who does this, where it's like a backup tahajjud, because I'm worried I'm not going to wake up. So I will do one straight after Isha, and then I go to bed, and then I'll wake up again earlier before Fajr to do my tahajjud. But sometimes I'm just worried that, oh, what if I don't get up? So it's become like almost like an obsession, like an addiction. Like I have to do it. If I miss it, then that'll be a one night missed. So I just do it twice. So alhamdulillah, I do tahajjud twice.
Very good, very good, very good.
But you know what I wanted to ask you? Has there been time out in your life where you had to make a major decision, or you've experienced a huge achievement, and you really felt it was a direct response to your tahajjud dua?
See, when the Prophet ﷺ was in difficulty, he turned straight away to prayer. So when you are in difficulty or you want to ask something from Allah, go to prayer. During the day or during night. Because sometimes the timing of closeness to Allah does not have only the evening or the Fajr time. Could be any time.
Yeah.
So the Prophet ﷺ did not taught us, when you are in desperate situation, he used to go and do 2 rak'ah in the mosque. So because he knew and he believed that the only one who can respond to his ordained is Allah, when he was standing in prayer. So the tahajjud has barakah.
Yeah.
And the barakah factor is something cannot be measured. Unmeasurable, because the dynamics of the barakah, the influence of barakah, and the speed of barakah impact on the society is immense. And this you don't feel it. You find that after tahajjud, you might be able to finish in an hour what somebody else can finish in a day. And this comes from the
That is true. That is true. And I make that dua. I actually say that out loud to Allah. I ask Allah, grant me, expand my time, expand my day, expand my vision, expand my skills, expand my ability, the people in my life, expand everything so that I can get it all done. And that alhamdulillah, I have noticed that it happens. Like at the end of the day, you even ask yourself, like, how did I get all this done today? You know, subhanAllah, how did I get it done? You know, one of the things you mentioned about standing in prayer, what is the difference between standing in prayer? Because I've heard this before, because I do most of my duas. I'm in my sujood for about 20 minutes, sometimes longer. Sometimes I fall asleep actually in my sujood. Okay, I have fallen asleep as well, but you know, you refer to standing in prayer. So when you do your duas when you're standing?
To be very honest, because I think your camera is off.
Oh no. That's because my reception is bad. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I think for one, somebody like at the age of senior age, sometime when they do long sujood, they sleep.
Hmm.
They fall asleep.
Yeah.
That's why those kind of people would prefer to finish all the dua
Hmm.
when they actually are standing.
Hmm.
Because actually it is, especially if it's at just before Fajr.
Yeah.
Before Fajr, they wake up tired,
Hmm.
it's cold. So, and if they put their feet, their head on the ground for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, they go in a deep sleep.
I have. And then I've woken up without, I couldn't feel my legs.
And at your age when you are young, so imagine that somebody is maybe 20, 30 years older than yourself.
Hmm.
It was just in 5 minutes, you're just boom, boom,
Yeah.
nodding.
Yeah.
That's why those senior individual, whether male or female,
Hmm.
prefer to do the dua
Hmm.
after the first rak'ah.
Hmm.
The first rak'ah after the tasbih of the first rak'ah. So it might take some of them, it could take him about an hour
Hmm.
or an hour and a half. And then after that, he can face the other, or she can face the other rak'ah, inshallah.
Hmm.
But I agree with you. Once you put your head down on the ground,
Hmm.
Jude, and you are tired, it's cold, it is dark, nobody can see you,
Hmm.
definitely you will fall asleep.
Yeah, but yeah, I have in some occasions, and then I've woken up and I've not felt my legs because I was sleeping in that position and I couldn't feel my legs. I couldn't get up. But yeah, but at the same time, I feel closest to Allah when I'm in sujood.
This is definitely, but sujood has exceptional cases.
Mm.
Like people, old people sometimes cannot do sujood because of the knees
Because of whatever, yeah, physical reasons.
reasons. So they can do the dua while they are sitting,
Okay.
here, or while they are standing. So there's a lot of excuses for people who cannot make the proper sujood, which is where you become very close to Allah when you are in full sujood. So, but actually, Allah also will pardon those people who cannot make sujood because of the medical condition or because of their age.
Yeah, that's another dua I make often is Allah, grant me the ability to always meet you in sujood, because as you get older, you do worry about, physically, can you do things, right? Yeah.
But what I want you to do now to encourage the young people to start gradually and slowly make tahajjud without being afraid.
Why?
Standing. Because you must say that tahajjud is for old people. It takes hours.
Yes.
Actually,
That's why I'm doing this podcast, Dr. Hani. Do you know my second guest? She was, I believe, she's very young. I can't remember how old. I think maybe 18. Asia. It was Ustada Zohra Sarwari. You might know her. She's American scholar, Ustada Zohra Sarwari. She was my first guest. Her daughter came on as my second guest. She started Tahajjud at age 6. She was 6 years old. The entire family, all brothers and sisters, started when they were little. And so I had her on, of course, second guest, because it's so important for young people to know. Now, my biggest regret, and I'm telling you, this is why I'm doing this Tahajjud conversations, is because I never knew about Tahajjud my entire life. I only started 10 years ago. I had my 10-year anniversary of Tahajjud in 2015, when I was really needing it and I was desperate. And then somebody told me about it, and then I started it. But I didn't realize how incredible it was. If I knew Tahajjud was a thing, that's what I would have done my entire life. And my entire life would have been different.
that's right. Yeah, absolutely.
And that's why I want to inspire people to do it now. And don't wait until you're perfect. I was not wearing a hijab 10 years ago. I only started wearing hijab 2 years ago. I asked Allah, I went to Alexa, and I begged Allah to help me fall in love with my hijab. And when I come back, that's when I started wearing my hijab. That was 2 years ago. But I was sinful. I was sinning. I was doing things that were wrong. I was dressing inappropriately. There was so many things that I wanted to change and I couldn't change. But my tahajjud didn't stop. I continued my tahajjud and the miracles continued. Allah's forgiveness continued. And subhanAllah, I mean, this is why people need to just start. Don't wait until you're perfect. This is my message to everyone, you know. And you know, so has there ever been a time in your life where you were confused and you were on a crossroad and you had to make a huge decision and you turned to tahajjud or istikhara, because istikhara is another miracle which I have used. I have used istikhara as a tool.
Istikhara is a foundation of finding your direction.
Mm.
Actually, either by seeing something in a dream or by comforting your heart.
Mm.
That's istikhara or istishara.
Mm.
But the Prophet ﷺ said, either you consult or you make istikhara,
Mm.
or you do anything.
Mm.
It's very, very important. Actually, the ones who are doing the istikhara or istishara will never be lost in their way or in their. It's very important. This is number one. Number two, you can imagine actually how the woman meeting Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala face to face with him in a very appropriate dressing. And some of those women, when they meet people, they do not wear this appropriate dress. This is actually where we need to tell the sisters, especially sisters, that in heaven there are three categories of women. If we go back to Surah Al-Rahman, we found the lowest category is the woman of Al-Jannatan Al-Mudhammatan. The woman of Al-Jannatan Al-Mudhammatan have been created as Hur in Ain. Okay, this is the bottom category.
Right.
And the top, the upper category in Surah Al-Rahman is Jannatan Dawata Afnan. Actually, where the woman created in this category will be like pearl and lu'lu' wa murjan, and this murjan as well above. Oh, so the woman
On a higher level.
the higher there are two levels in heaven for woman. The lowest in Jannatan Mudhammatan, which is Hur al-Ain. The up above this is Jannatan Dawata Afnan, which is the pearl, and the one will be like a pearl and murjan. Murjan, another precious stone.
Yeah.
But how about woman like yourself? Because these two kind of women in heaven have been created in heaven. They did not suffer the hardship of life. They never were harassed, maybe challenged. Some of them have become pregnant and with labor pain and delivery pain, and some of them have argument with here and there. So they suffer to keep the deen. What do you think that the category of the believing woman on earth will be like these two or be above of these two? Because these two women in heaven, actually, the one in the Jannatan Mudhammatan, the one in actually Jannatan Dawata Afnan, did not suffer. They're just being created in heaven for the leisure of heaven. But for you,
So it was easy peasy.
yeah, for you, you might be living on earth for 50, 60, 70, 80, 100 years, suffering, struggling, fighting.
Challenge after
Challenges.
challenge.
What do you think that you will be in the same category or above?
I would say above, inshallah.
You know why? Because the believing woman in heaven, when she looks at earth, the hijab will have a light or nur to be more stronger than the light of the sun. Because what? Because you have suffered the way to keep the way to keep your deen. You cannot be like equivalent like the woman who has been created as Hur al-Ain or the woman who has been created in heaven as pearl and murjan.
And you know, you compare the
This is what
heaven.
you need to tell. This is what you need to tell young girls.
Yeah.
This and this not what you need to tell them the boys as well.
Yeah.
You keep talking about Hur al-Ain. Okay, fine. Hur al-Ain. Go back to Surah Rahman. Hur al-Ain in Jannatan Mudhammatan. The pearl and the murjan is in the water afnan. But your wife, your sister, your daughter, your auntie, your mother will be above those
Hmm.
in the status and in the beauty in heaven.
Inshallah. Inshallah.
Tell the young girls and tell the boys as well.
Yeah,
Don't-
you're telling them right now. You're telling them.
But I wanted to come from you as well.
Yeah, yeah, we're both. It's coming for both of us, and inshallah, I don't have a lot of followers yet. Inshallah, we hope that whoever does watch. I mean, for me, see, this is a thing. I know I'm. This is about saying the wrong thing, but for me, it's not about how many followers. Whoever watches is meant to watch about this, about tahajjud, and is meant to hear what you have to say or I have to say, and because this is how it was for me. There was always these signs, and I would hear it, and then I would go and do it, and Allah gave me the guidance, obviously, and then I just pray that somebody does get these messages,
Oh.
1, 2, 3 people, and it has an impact on their life, and it will change their life that like it did for you and me. And you were talking about the women of the heaven and the women here. It's a bit like I that example reminds me of like where there are women and men who have been brought up in family in homes where their entire family were raised like they were raised in a different way, right? Or they were raised in a Muslim country where they wake up in the morning and there's the adhan, 5 times a day they can hear the adhan. They're in these amazing environments. Well, it's just so easy to practice. I mean, if you didn't wear hijab, people would look at you because that's the kind of environment you're in, right? And so it's so easy for them. So again, there are other women who may like we're in the Western, society. Yes, I grew up in a household where my parents were very practiced, very conservative, very salah and everything. They send me to India to be in in madrasa for a whole year. It was very important to them, our faith. However, there was also Bollywood, right? There's also Bollywood. It was a different culture, right? But also, I was in Canada, and I grew up in in an environment where was everything. It's not just Islam, right? Everything was, and now it's even worse. It's getting worse and worse and worse. So many things being thrown at us, right? So for a person to be, like you were talking about, to resist that and still retain their faith and keep their hijab on, despite what people will say. Again, like, you can't judge which one of those two people are closer to Allah or is more beloved to Allah. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. I think we remember the saying of the Prophet ﷺ when he was sitting with the companions in Medina,
Mm,
not sure Medina or Mecca, and he said, I would love to see my beloved brothers.
mm,
Of course, and sisters.
mm,
Don't say sisters. And they told him, aren't we your beloved brothers? He said, no,
mm,
you are not. You are my companions.
mm,
But my beloved brothers are those or sisters, those who believe in me without seeing me.
mm.
Those who received Islam as pieces of paper,
Yeah,
the Quran, Mus'haf,
yeah.
and they read it and they believed in me.
Mm,
The action of the one of them is the equivalent to the action of the 50 of you. So tell the young people, the more you suffer to keep your deen, the more reward you will have, and you'll be more rewardable than the companion of the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam.
I mean,
Because the time of your time is different to the time of the Prophet and the companion Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam in Medina or in somewhere.
because he was there in front of them. An
Even
example.
after that, the culture was protecting them.
Mm,
See, the culture of Medina, even the culture of Mecca before Islam was still protecting the dignity of woman.
mm,
At that time, they were considering the slave girl is the one who did not put any hijab on her head.
mm,
Because she is always for sale
mm,
at that time in the market. But actually, the credible, integral woman, noble woman, is the one who are covering her, actually, her body at that time. This is actually how the Jahiliyyah looked at the status of woman before Islam,
mm, mm.
with the respect and the dignity of the code of dress of the woman at that time. So when people at that time nowadays cannot read Quran, listen to it. This do it when you are driving, when you are actually doing some work at home, because you are very much distracted by other things in life. Don't stop listening to Quran. In the good old days, they had the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they had the companions, they have the ulama, they have the culture, they have the atmosphere, which allowed them to have the time to dwell on and comprehend on understanding Quran. They were actually taking 10 ayah by 10 ayah and moving onward. And their understanding, because of the Arabic language, perfect. Nowadays, most of us, or a lot of us, even some of the Arabs, do not understand the meaning, the Arabic meaning of the Quran. Sometimes listen to the rhyming of the Quran. This way you will have a reward for this. You have a reward even if you are passing by and you heard Quran recited. You have a reward. You have a reward if you are doing the washing at home and you put on Quran and instead of putting Bangla music. You have a
Yeah. Do you know, I replaced music with Quran and lectures for the last, I would say, gradually it came, but I would say about 7, 8 years ago, it started slowly. And the last 3 years, I've stopped listening to music. The last 2 years, I have not put the TV on. Most people don't even know this about me. I have not watched TV in 2 years. I've not watched a movie in about 2 years. And that's because I don't have time. I'm a very busy person, right? I've got no time. But also when I do have time, my heart is gravitating towards listening to the Quran, listening to lectures. As soon as I have some free time, I sit down and I put a podcast on or something, beneficial. But the Quran is daily. So I walk 2 hours a day and it's changed my life. And listening to the verses in English as well as Arabic is like has even been more powerful, because now I know what Allah is telling me. I understand what you're saying to me, Allah. I get it now, and I understand when I heard Surah Nisa, you want me to wear my headscarf. I understand that now. Surah Baqarah, subhanallah, the most beautiful surah. It's like the summary of everything we need to know about life and death, everything. If people understood the beauty in the words in Surah Baqarah, it's just amazing, incredible. And I totally agree with you. And the more you listen, the more you fall in love with the Quran and with Allah. You just get closer and closer. It's just, it's incredible. When you first met me, I don't know if I was wearing a hijab. You were talking about, we were talking about that. What was your impression? Like, firstly, I don't even remember how we met. How did we meet? Who introduced you to me? Who told you about me? Do you remember?
You fall from the sky in front of me.
What I do remember was I was walking, because I walk a lot. I walk about 10K a day. I was walking in my usual walking place in Hampstead Heath. And then I think you either called me back. I left a message that you called me back, but I can't remember who introduced us. But I thank that person for doing it, because, in a world, in a sector with so many gatekeepers, it's very rare that somebody takes you directly to the Dr. Hani, somebody who's like, you're a legend, and here I am just starting out and I got to meet the legend, right? So for me, and firstly, I didn't know you were the legend at the time. I literally just wanted to speak to people who knew what they were doing and who did it. And I just wanted people to tell me how to do it, right?
Yes.
And you rang me, and I remember what was so funny is you let me talk for a whole hour.
Yes, why not?
Do you remember what you said to me?
No, I can't.
You don't remember? The first thing you said to me, first you said, Assalamu alaikum, tell me about yourself. So I told you, but I went on, and you did not say a single word. And I think it was after like half an hour, you said to me, well, I let you, this is the longest introduction I've ever allowed anyone. I think you said something like that. This is the longest introduction I've allowed anyone. I think you talked for about a half an hour, but I allowed it because I can hear in your voice how passionate you are and how upset you are. Because I think I was upset about a lot of things that were happening, right? Things I was not expecting when I went into this. It was really the very people I thought I was going to get support from were my obstacle.
Yes.
And I remember you saying, I was just listening to you because I can hear you're upset. So I just listened. And then you went on to give me some guidance and some, even, some names, some people, some, just amazing stuff. It was like golden nuggets, one after the other. Um, like, what was your impression of me?
At the time, I felt that you are frustrated.
Mm,
You have a vision.
mm,
You have been neglected, but you're still insisting to succeed and to go over these
mm,
challenges and to achieve what you want to achieve. That's why I listened.
mm,
The people do not listen to someone because his speech or his wording is very beautiful.
mm,
But people listen to someone because he is or she is having a message to deliver,
mm,
coming out from the agony of her suffering or her journey and the challenges that face. So they will learn from you. I learned from you a lot actually at this meeting. That's why don't ever think I let you to speak for half an hour just for a cozy thing. No, because I wanted to learn from you. How did you suffer? Why? And how can we find a solution for this suffering?
mm. Yeah. What really kind of hit me, I don't know if you probably don't remember this. After we spoke on the phone, there was an MCF event, I think it was, and you were speaking, and then in your speech you said something, and I was like, did I hear that correct? Did he just say that? You said something. You said something like, there's so much work to do, and like you're now not at the level or the age, you were saying, I'm not in the time in my life where I can do these things, but there's so much to work to do. So there's going to be people like Sister Atia who, and you mentioned my name. I was like, because about the refugee, the issue that was talking, and I was like, he really believes I could do this. That
Yes.
was what I thought. For you to stand on stage and to mention that, I thought he really thinks, and that gave me so much confidence, because for you to say that out loud in public, I thought he really means that. So, and then I felt like now this is a responsibility. That means I have to deliver. I need to do this, right? So that was amazing. And I don't think people realize just how important. And I'm like not, yeah, I'm not like a spring chicken. Okay, I'm not young. I'm at an age where I'm mature. But even at this age, as a leader, you need to hear these things. You need to hear that people have confidence in you.
Yeah.
And the fact that you showed you had confidence in me, it took me. It propelled me.
This happened to me last week
Did it?
when I was actually in Islamic Leaf evening of inspiration.
Mm,
And in my speech, I asked the young man next to me, his name was Muhammad Yusuf.
mm,
His father told me he's a very good speaker. He said, come with me.
mm,
And he was with me on the stage.
mm,
And I gave him the platform to speak and to get the confidence to speak, but he did not speak.
mm,
But that means that next time he will speak at this age of 10 and 11, because the message was this is the generation which should give them a space to grow,
mm.
to become leaders.
Yes.
Not me,
Yes.
not Atiya, not Mahmoud, not Sheikh so and so, Sheikh so and so, Sheikh so and so. No, no, no.
Yeah.
Muhammad Yusuf and people like him has to face the public from
Yeah.
this age. Like the companion of the Prophet ﷺ, who became companions at the age of 12, 13, 15, and become army leaders and conquer as well in the history of Islam. So, yes, I mentioned your name because I learned from you.
Mm.
I'm not mentioning your name because you just said to me, sweet nothing. Sweet nothing means nothing. Sweet nothing
I
means,
don't even think we met. I think we only spoke on the phone. And then
whatever.
that was my first meeting that
Yeah,
time. Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. Actually, a sweet nothing means nothing. But actually, the message someone can deliver, like if now we talk to somebody coming from Sudan,
Mm.
or somebody coming from Gaza, or
Mm.
somebody coming from Yemen, or
Mm.
somebody coming from Afghanistan, or
Mm.
somebody coming from a different disaster-stricken area,
Mm.
you will listen to them because you don't speak eloquently from a textbook. They speak eloquently from the depth and the heat of the feeling in their hearts.
Mm.
So it hits your heart straight and goes to your mind and reinvigorate your soul
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
That's why I mentioned your name because of that.
Yeah. And I think that people who have lived experience, their voices are powerful.
That's right.
This is why I am so keen on empowering our refugee and asylum seeker children, the ones that we support. We have now over 700 children identified and hundreds that we're teaching, and we're empowering. We're doing things like public speaking. So last year, 9 of our children did public speaking coaching, and they're doing Quran competitions. Because that's to empower them to unlock. Because it's not, yes, we want to facilitate their Islamic education, but there's capable of so much more, and for them to get on stage and tell their stories of empowerment and how where they came from and where they are now,
Yes.
and let them believe that, what, you can make a difference too. You're not just taking things from me, from Zubeda Welcome. You can be in a position to give back. And this is what I think is really powerful. I mean, Zubeda Welcome only exists because it was a full circle. My mother taught me about our struggles, reminded me about our struggles and how people gave to us, and always reminded me to give back, right? And that was a reminder throughout our lives. We're not just going to be taking kindness, we got to give it back. We got to give it back. And so I'm now in the position to give back. And so it should be a circle of kindness, and it should go on and on and on. And the voices of these children who are struggling, who have difficulties, they should be able to stand up on stage and tell about their struggles to make change, right?
Also, a duty on you that you have to discover the talents of those young people. At least
Exactly.
the talents is not only reciting Quran and making speeches. There may be arts, there may be poetry, there may be
We're doing all of that. So we have wherever somebody's offering, like we have, I met somebody yesterday actually who does arts and crafts. She goes, "Can I help you?" See, this is a thing. People think, "Oh, you're doing all this charity work. I wish I could start a charity. I wish I had some more. I wish I had more money so I could do." I said, and I say to them, it's not about money. It could be about any skill. Allah has blessed everybody with different things, right? You, I mean, just offer your skill. Like, this is a thing. It's about kindness. You could be great at content creation. Teach our children how to do that. They can. That's powerful. We know now what's after what's been happening in Gaza. If it wasn't for the journalists, the content creation, the delivery of the contents, the social media, the world would not have known what the problem was.
That's right.
How powerful is the media, right? So, can you put value on that? I mean, you don't need to offer me your money. Just offer your services and teaching our children how to tell their stories in the media, right? So yesterday, the arts and crafts lady, and I'm actually a writer, a children's author. So I'm doing writing workshops. So I did 3 writing workshops already with about 6 kids. I think now 7 now. Some others have joined. So we're going to be writing stories, inshallah, and it's going to be published. On February 1st, we're going to launch their book, inshallah. So are you going to be here in London? Because we're going to have a book launch on February 1st.
Send me an email.
I will send it to you. I hope you come. So February 1st is going to be their book launch. And because, I don't know if you remember, but I launched World Quran Awareness Day 3 years ago. So nobody knows about it because I'm not very great at marketing and I don't have any funding for marketing. But I launched it World Quran Awareness Day 3 years ago. So every year I choose a day. It's not the same day. So this year is February 1st. We're going to introduce our 2026 theme. And I bought the domain. It belongs to me, World Quran Awareness Day. So on February 1st, we're going to announce the theme. Last year, the theme was 99 names of Allah mentioned in the Quran. So if you go on to World Quran Awareness Day, you can see people telling me their favorite names of Allah. So 2026, the theme is, what does Allah say about kindness to his creations in the Quran? So kindness to people, animals, and the environment. And this is for Muslims and non-Muslims, by the way. Yeah. World Quran Awareness is for everyone. So our children are going to be writing about those beautiful verses about kindness and their own little stories about kindness, and we're going to publish it. But throughout the year, the rest of the year until next 2027 theme, we're just going to be talking about the verses of kindness that Allah's mentioned in the Quran and why, and I'm hoping, maybe you can help me with this, is to bring in people who will talk about the environment, environmentalists who are not even Muslim, and tell them about our verses of kindness to the environment, because people don't know about this, right? It's dawah work. So, uh, yeah, I don't even know how we got into the topic of this, but yeah, it's just so important. No, it was about the empowering them, right?
Let me take you to another dimension. When Allah created Adam body alayhi salam was dormant, lying on the ground. What Allah did to Adam, He put his soul or spirit in Adam.
Mm.
This soul or spirit of Allah
Mm.
in you,
Yeah.
it comes from Adam to you. When Allah said, وَعَلَّمَ آدَمَ الْأَسْمَاءَ كُلَّهَا, Allah has taught Adam the names of all the subjects needed to inhabit earth, to construct life on earth. And this knowledge is in you, but you need to discover it. Goes from Adam to all the children of Adam. What I want you and me and the young people, when they listen, inshallah, two things. Now, Allah is in you, whether you are a Muslim or non-Muslims. The spirit of Allah is inside every creation of Allah. نفخت فيه من روحي. واخد بالك؟ Second thing, Allah taught Adam all this knowledge to enable him to construct life on earth, and this knowledge is passed to you. But here, with the spirit of Allah in you, and with your effort to discover this knowledge, you have to work very hard on yourself to discover your talent. If we believe that actually that Allah is there inside me, not just around me, this is a responsibility.
Yeah.
I've been watched very carefully from inside as intention. But Allah knows my intention and knows my action.
Yeah.
Not only my action. So if He is through His Spirit inside me, so He knows my whispering intention.
Right.
So now, for all the young people, for God's sake, you are very talented. You have got a lot of talents, and you need to discover such a talent to enable you to be ahead of your time, ahead of the community, and ahead of humanity.
Yeah. Good advice.
Yeah.
Good advice. Well, one of the things when I started this, the thing that I think you probably remember, that was the biggest challenge for me, was gatekeeping, right? And I'm not going to name any names, but I remember always coming to you, Dr. Hani. It was just frustration, right? Not just you, but it's just, and there was, for me, it was a lot of, I even doubted myself, like, am I like, is it in my mind, or is, what's going on? But the best advice that you gave me about that was, okay, this door is closed, go over here. It was never like, okay, let's try to bang through that door, let's just get it open. No, let's leave that door. That one's not opening, let's open. So, and the thing is, subhanAllah, you are one of the few people who never gate kept. You literally, like, I know what you need, you just need to speak to this person, and here it is. That was it. And then, and I think it's also about you. I think you probably also trusted in me that I wouldn't abuse it, and I didn't abuse it. But that was the thing that I really believe that a lot of people need to hear about, is that we need to lift each other up. When somebody is serious about something, and this is seriously needed in our community, and somebody's actually doing it, and you can't do it yourself because you're doing 1,000 things. You literally, all it could take is just opening up somebody's door by saying, here's a number, here's an email, here's a name, whatever it is, right? Or here's a link, here's a website. That is all it takes. And if that person is truly on a mission and believes they will take that name or take that number and they will fly with it, right? And alhamdulillah, that is what I've learned from you is, firstly, you know, if one door closes, the other one will open, right? And I have to keep reminding myself. And sometimes doors are closed for a reason. You can't keep going. You can't keep. I mean, try once, twice, but it's a sign in that, right? We need to learn that there's a sign in that. Yeah. So that's something that you taught me. What is your biggest challenge in you as a founder? I mean, you're the founder of Islamic Relief. We haven't even touched on that part yet, but you're the founder of Islamic Relief worldwide. Like, growing up, the only charity I knew about was Islamic Relief. And actually, do you know the Islamic Relief spiritual journey that I had? I don't know if I ever told you. When in 2015, okay, I went to Calais, the refugee camp. I came back and I couldn't believe that they were living like this, and I was just heartbroken. But I was also going through my own personal trauma at that time. But I was like, oh, I know this is terrible. I want to save them. I want to do something. I want to do charity work. So the only charity I ever knew about was Islamic Relief because it's the most well known, right? It's the oldest. So I literally walked into the office in East London. Like, I didn't know anything. I didn't know anything about how to get a job at a charity. But I walked in and I saw Brother Zia. He'll tell you this story. He was there and I said, brother, I want a job. I want to work for Islamic Relief. I want to do charity work, right? Because I went to Calais and it's heartbreaking. I want to do something, right? And he's like, we don't really have a job, opening right now, sister. He said, the only thing we have is like a digital thing, a digital website, something. Do you have any tech skills? I'm like, I'll do anything. I'll do anything. He goes, you got to do a test. I said, I'll do it. Send it to me. So I went home. He sent me the link. I did the test. I failed. This was 2016. Okay. And I was like, oh, I can't work for this charity. And I don't have any skills anyway working for charities. So then I just carried on with my housing refugees. Slowly, I found out through Mufti Abdul Rahman Mangera, who was circulating a video. I found his video. And I was also praying for the refugees at the time that I wish I could house refugees. That was my dua over and over. Oh, I wish I could house them. And my dua that answered, that video came into my phone. I was like, I'm going to house them. We have properties in our family. My ex-husband allowed me to do this. So I did it. And I brought over 6 Syrian families. Okay. And I forgot all about Islamic Relief. Okay. And then I carried on. It was growing and went from one. And then I went from housing them to now shocked that they're leaving Islam, churches coming in, they're brainwashing. So I thought, what do I do? So then I went to the just madrasa fees. I'll give them a bridge to come to the Muslim community. So then I went focused on madrasa fees. So it went from 1 to 50 children, from 50 to now 600, Dr. Hani. 600 children. 600 children we're supporting, from 50 to 600. Alhamdulillah. And now, guess who's supporting us quite a lot? Islamic Relief.
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. And here I am talking to the founder of Islamic Relief. Now that went from me walking in trying to get a job with Islamic Relief to now, at this stage, 9 years later, subhanAllah, getting a lot of support financially. Now I'm the founder of my own charity, and Islamic Relief is supporting us, subhanAllah. So tell us now, what were the challenges you faced at Islamic Relief?
First of all, when we started 42 years ago, 41 years ago.
Yeah.
I had a wake-up call in 1983, seeing what happened in Sabra and Shatila camp in August, September 1983 in Lebanon, when there was a massacre of the Palestinian refugees in Sabra and Shatila camp. Then in February of the same year, it is the massacre or the alienation or the destruction of the city of Hama with the regime of Hafiz al-Assad at that time. When the war claimed about 40,000 lives at that time. And nobody. These two starting point were the beginning of changing my mindset towards whether I carry on as a medical doctor or I changed my course of action in my life into social and humanitarian, or I call it now humanitarian work or field.
Yeah.
This was 1982. 1983 was the famine in Ethiopia, and to the big news, and always the media are lying like they are lying nowadays.
Yeah.
They were just showing the Muslims being affected by the famine in Ethiopia.
Mm.
And when I visit Sudan, actually, I was told there are Muslims and non-Muslims. So felt at that time in December 1983 that we are compelled to do something.
Mm.
Actually, this is before we launched Islamic Leaf in January 1984.
Oh,
So
okay.
there are some milestones which the young people need to realize. The first donation I raised was in December or November 1983 to buy the ticket to go to Sudan because I did not have money to buy the ticket. And the Sheikh of the Islamic Cultural Center Mosque gave me £300.
Yeah.
This donation was anonymous. Nobody knows
Till this day.
till the day whether he
Subhanallah.
was a woman or he was a man, whether
Subhanallah.
African or European or Asian, whatever it is.
That gave me goosebumps. So that person is getting the reward of
Everything.
all the things.
Everything.
that's happening.
And when he or she will meet Allah, if they have already met Allah, subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah might show them the activity of Islamic belief over the last 40 plus years and tell them, this is what you have done, and give this sadaqah, the hidden sadaqah, to the Imam of the mosque, and it became this organization. This
Subhanallah.
is where actually you find the power of the hidden sadaqah
Yeah.
keep growing. Like the Prophet ﷺ said that actually he will grow the reward of the sadaqah till it becomes like the mountain of Uhud. Actually, and this is something. The second thing is people without any strategy, without any plan,
Mm.
started the journey of Islamic belief.
Mm.
As I said to you, this woman or man who gave the £300, this Sudanese man who changed my mindset and told me, no, they're Muslim, you have to do something for them. Is number two. Number three, as a young a relative of mine at the age of 9 who gave me the chocolate money, which is 20 Egyptian penny at the time.
Mm.
Number four, when I came back to UK, I was trying to attract people to work for the family in Africa. Everybody was not interested in Africa because everybody was interested in Afghanistan at that time with all these sort of things. So the only one who joined me was my colleague in Birmingham University, who was Iraqi Palestinian. And so it is well, him and myself started the journey. This is number four.
Mm.
Number five, in 2005, Yusuf Islam came actually to us in Birmingham because he wanted to join us, but because he was a superstar, we could not be able to entertain him because he was superstar.
Yeah. He's coming here. He's going to be on Saturday. He's going to be at
Yeah,
it.
yeah, I know. I'm going there. Are you
I'm going there too. I'll be there. I was invited.
And he's the one who gave us the name of Islamic belief.
No.
He was the one. Okay, okay,
No. I didn't know that.
you can tell him that he does not يعني, doesn't remember that actually. Then number six, in the creation of Islamic belief, when we got the name from Yusuf Islam in about May, June 1985, we sent the name to a Turkish designer in London who designed the logo.
Wow.
So
I'm wearing blue today, by the way, because
yeah, so
for you.
I took you into a journey of six individuals from different countries and different continents.
They were all, Allah had chosen them before they were even born to do.
Right. Number one was this individual who donated the £300. Nobody knows. Yeah.
Yeah.
Number two, a Sudanese from Africa. Number three is an Egyptian young boy from Egypt. Number four is a Palestinian, Iraqi or Iraq Palestinian, actually, who joined me and him. Number five is a Greek individual, which is Yusuf Islam. Number six is a Turkish designer. So you talk about Turkey, Greece, Sudan,
Mm.
Egypt, Palestine, and Anonymous.
Subhanallah.
Three countries, so no, three continents, five countries. There was no planning,
Mm.
no office, nothing. That's my message now is to the young people, don't hypothesize.
Yes. That's,
Don't
I mean,
wait for the big man to give you the money. We did
yes.
not have any office. We did not have any desk. We did not have
Yeah.
nothing. We were legging it door to door, street, street.
Yeah. Hustling,
So
hustling. That's what I'm a hustler. People have called me a hustler. You that, and the thing is, and people think that a lot of people say, well, you don't have you don't look like you have a structure or because you don't go into this. I never went into this thinking I'm gonna make this into a national charity. I had one child I was supporting. It grew to 50. Now I have 600s. Now I need more help, more. And it grew and grew and grew. Now it's all across the country. It might even be worldwide one day. But you don't go into it with a plan. Allah has chosen you to do this. And suddenly it's now you're building it as it's growing. You're building and you're growing and it's building. So that's how it evolves. And I totally could relate to what you just said. Now here you are, somebody who founded this. So obviously your heart was Islamic relief and Islamic relief was your heart, okay? How did you distance yourself from something you founded? Like obviously at some point you needed to like, okay, you guys take over now. Was that hard?
at certain time when I became president in 2003,
Hmm.
I was exposed to a totally different world. Because as the president of Islamic Relief in 2003, I was not engaged in the executive decision making process in the organization. The CEO of the organization, Dr. Brother Hatun, was in charge of the executive committee.
Mm.
So when I traveled the world, I found that the world is different. Not only based on humanitarian response, which is the easiest and most emotional and most attractive.
Yeah.
But the more difficult one is the social work, then
Yes.
advocacy, then research, then lobbying, then building community, then empowerment, then actually educating, then all these sort of things. So I found that most of our organization nowadays are very happy to thrive on the catastrophe or on the agony or on the suffering of people because this is actually very emotional and can raise the millions of pounds.
Hmm.
Some of them, I'm not saying all of them, do not come out of this. This stick is still stuck inside it because it brings money.
Yeah.
This is wrong.
Yeah.
Absolutely wrong. Because I found when I became president, this 2003, I was graduated from Islamic Relief in 2008.
Hmm.
I found this is not enough. This is the first step
Hmm.
in the field of humanitarian, or as I call it in my own terminology, Christian response.
Right.
Actually, why? Because what's after delivering the food, the water, the clothes? What's next? What's after saving the people from a disaster-stricken area, flood or volcano or what do you call the or earthquake? What's next?
Yeah.
What's after actually saving those people from being the boat people who are traveling to Europe? What's next?
Yeah.
This kind of philosophy of what's next is should be there all the time of what's next.
Yeah.
When you reach the peak, said what's next.
Yeah.
When you reach the other peak, what's next? And keep actually looking with motivation to achieve because every society and any society on earth is always changing by the second and by the minute in different direction.
Yes.
And this is the nature of life
Yeah.
because people, because animals, because of climate, because of disaster, because of conflict, whatever you call it. That's why actually you have to keep all this what's next on the agenda. With you.
Speaking of what's next, perfect timing. It's all about full circle. And I know you came back from Syria.
Yeah.
Tell us about what's next. What you doing now?
Yeah. What's next in Syria? This was my second visit. My first visit was started on 13th of September till the 2nd or 3rd of October.
Hmm.
And to a fact-finding mission.
Hmm.
So I traveled in this area to find that they have got huge, huge, huge problems facing them with a new government, newly structured government, less resources, sanction against Syria, a lot of ethnicity and a lot of division inside the country. less capacity than what we need, and a lot of rebels. The amount of destruction in Syria you cannot imagine.
Wow.
The hatred, the war of hatred, the war of I don't know, yani, alienation, the war of ethnic cleansing. It's the war of actually, yani, I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah.
They used to have this actually barrel bombings, not only oil, sometimes nails, sometimes it's actually screws and the things which when it come down, it can hit the eye, the heart, everything.
Subhanallah.
Sometimes they used to put what do you call it, cars full of actually oil or full of gas, and it explode whatever it is. And they threw also mines, booby traps in different areas. So the biggest problem in Syria now is to clear the rebels
Right.
because it is blocking the way of any development or any investment.
And who's doing that?
It has been, and now they are trying to figure out because it's very expensive. In certain area, a whole area is wiped out. Even if you want to claim the land registration to certain family, there's no registration because there's no house, there's no building, there's nothing. This is number one. Number two is a lot of unemployment happening in Syria now because there's no much money.
Yeah.
And my view is on that is to create local markets, which actually to the low income family, to enable the family to produce something by the day and sell it in the local market. This is what we call it informal economy. Build the informal economy bottom up to find that the low income family will be able to create few hundred or few thousand liras every day by actually renting or hiring, sorry, a desk in a local market in the nearby area. This is number two. Number three is actually engage the young people actually in the clearing of the rebels.
Right.
Find a job for them.
Yeah.
These three things is something to start with, actually. Number four or five is to go around the cities inch by inch and to have one message. It's one piece, not many pieces. Syria, the mosaic, and Syria mosaic and rainbow colors is because it has different ethnicity, different faith-based group, different religion, different culture, different history, different even languages. But Syria is actually is our mother. That's why my second visit was actually to organize 4 workshops to show the importance of the role of the civil society organization and civil society sector in building the new Syria, especially when you are having a newly emerging government.
Yeah.
And Alhamdulillah, we managed to organize 4 workshops, one in Damascus, one in Hems, one in Hama, and one in Idlib. Attended by nearly 90 plus organizations were there and people from different backgrounds as well. In partnership with the local organization and the Institute of Conflict Resolution in Doha. And now, as I speak to yourself now, we are planning the second round of consultation to more difficult area where Der'a, Deir Zur, El Hasaka, Tarsus, what do you call it? اللاذقية, which is Latakia, and other places where you found actually Kurdish, Alawite, and actually Druze and Christian in this area, and Aleppo as well. This is what we are doing for Syria nowadays. Because we need to produce a policy paper to guide the government, to guide the international donors, to guide the local organization, and to guide the civil society sector as a whole.
It doesn't sound like you're going to be stopping anytime soon, Dr. Hani.
No, why should I stop?
You are, and you should just keep going because, I mean, yeah, This is incredible. What you're doing is incredible. The rebuilding of Syria. Do you see this generation, this next generation, seeing it rebuilt, or do you think it's going to take a couple?
It will take at least 10 years.
Yeah.
At least.
Mm.
If Syria is safe and stable and there's no conflict.
Yeah.
But
I
there's
had 6 families I was saying that I brought over 2015 from the borders of Syria doing through a VPRS scheme, Vulnerable People's Resettlement Scheme here in the UK. And I remember talking to some of those families and saying to them, you know what, one day we're going to go back. One of them was an architect as well. We'll go back and we'll rebuild it together, and I'll come with you. And we talked about it. And, I can't believe it's actually happening, but it doesn't sound like it's going to be an easy task.
I said this is minimum 10 years. The earthquake in Turkey, which was 2023, is still after now. Really, the houses have not been built. Turkey is a stable country. The earthquake in Sindh in Pakistan 2-3 years ago, still, actually, in spite of the fact there's a government and there's funding, it's still most of the people are in displacement up to now.
Subhanallah.
I mean, not the earthquake. Was earthquake or flooding?
Yeah. Allah, may Allah make it easy. There's just so, like, all the children that we're supporting here, they're from those countries, Syria, Sudan, all the countries that have been destroyed, bombed, or, have been through earthquakes and things. And may Allah make it easy for all of them and help them rebuild it and, repair it and go back and rebuild their own lives.
It takes time.
Yeah, it takes time. It does, and I really think people don't realize, the people here in the UK, who come across, have the opportunity to meet refugee families, don't realize everything that they're dealing with, especially, like, for example, the Syrian families that are living here. They don't realize, just because, the Syrian families that I, was supporting, they look clean. They look, because they're educated, they know how to look after themselves. Just because they don't have anything and they're struggling, they don't have to look like they're struggling, right? And they don't. They have a lot of pride. But when our people see refugees that look clean, well-dressed, speak well, they think they don't need anything.
They need to visit.
This is what I think is hilarious. Just because they're clean. If they were looking dirty and they're wearing torn clothes and they couldn't speak properly, then they're like, oh, poor refugees,
That's why, actually, the Syrian refugees and displaced people are different. Because education system before the 2011 or even before Al-Assad came to power in the 60s, 70s, actually were very, very strong. So those refugees, when they went out in 2011 to different countries, they were highly educated. Not like some of the African or the Asian refugees who come out, unfortunately, not educated, and I'm not trying to make a difference, actually miserably looking. Actually, that's why they managed to create a civil society movement and sector in Turkey. And from there, actually, they moved inside Idlib to start a small place, even government in Idlib.
Right.
From the 2011, 12, 13, 15, because Idlib was the focal point attracting all the people running away from the war.
Right.
It was about 600,000 people, or less than that, about 3 or 4 million people in Idlib. So Idlib by itself developed itself as a government, as nearly a state inside the state at that time. So that's why, because they learned a lot. Actually, they were educated and they learned how to live together.
Subhanallah. Well, we have talked for well more than we were going to, but we're coming to near the end of our podcast. But before I do, I needed to seek a little bit of advice from you about my next project. So I don't know if I told you about the Federation of Accredited Imams, Teachers, and Holistic Support.
No.
It's the next stage of what I'm doing, and the reason why is I realize from the last 2 years of my journey of doing Zubeda Welcome and trying to support refugees is there are hundreds of children on a waiting list to learn Quran. Now, why is that? I had to dig a bit deeper. I used to just blame the imam. Like, how could the imam do this when they should be teaching? That's what they're supposed to be doing. But actually, digging a bit deeper, doing my networking last 2 years, talking to people, I realized that's not the problem. The problem is in the masjids and the boardrooms and the trustees and the politics and the nepotism and the discrimination and the division. And all of that is happening. Meanwhile, our children are falling through the cracks. They're on waiting lists. Years are going by. They're turning 16, 17. Now they're too old. They don't want to do madrasa because they're too old, you know? So this has gone on for generations. Like I know my children, my eldest is 24. I had the same problem. I couldn't find a good madrasa. What is going on? So it's not changed. Not just for the refugees and asylum seekers, but our own community. So, and everybody thinks that their marriages are breaking down, high divorce rates, the masjids are not doing enough, the imams are not doing enough, reverts are leaving Islam because they haven't got their needs met. We got foster care children, Muslim ones leaving because they don't have enough foster parents. All these problems, imams should be fixing this. But the imams don't get paid. They're not even trained. They should be running this masjid like a amazing first class director, but they have no experience in running an institution. They've learned they've memorized the Quran, and that's what they're doing. They're doing dawah work, but they haven't been trained to do a lot of this stuff. So the Federation of Accredited Imams, Teachers, and Holistic Support is a union I'm launching after Ramadan. I'm having a launch event. I will invite you, inshallah. And we're going to set up 11-member steering committee. That's phase one. Phase one is launch event, invite everyone, set up a steering committee of 11 members. They're going to be the people that take it to phase two. And phase two will be setting up a pay scale, a pay structure, P1, P2, P3, going up. Imams will be on that pay structure, and then they will be trained to move up on that pay scale, Dr. Hani. And the whole point of this is to improve the overall standards of education, improve the overall services that our community will be able to provide, because every time they want to move up on the pay scale, they have to take a course, because maybe they need to take a course on how to meet the needs of reverts. Maybe they'll take a course on marriage counseling, but they can't be expected to do it without getting trained, and they have to get paid. You can't be a marriage counselor for free, right? People charge hundreds of thousands of pounds for that. Why does Imam have to do it for free? So this is what I'm doing. What is your advice to somebody who's now going into a very, very scary space?
First of all, go slowly but wisely.
Mm.
What do I mean by that? You have to work very carefully on the structure of the idea. Don't throw a great idea in the mud. Actually, because the problem of the mosque is inside the mosque, not in the problem in the mosque, in the boardroom. Actually, in the people who musallin, the people who pray in the mosque. The people who come to the mosque to pray are compelled to pray in this mosque because it's close by to their houses and to flats. Actually, that's why they come, not because they like the mosque, not because they like the imam.
Convenient.
The double standard of some of the board member of the mosques is when they employ people to the business, they give them tens of thousands of pounds.
Right.
When actually a month, not actually when they employ the imam, they said he can just stand on a social service, have a social allowance from the government.
Yes. Yeah.
And I've heard this actually from
I've heard this too.
from people whom I was just going to smack them.
Yeah.
Because he was a consultant in a hostel taking 100,000 plus, and he was telling me that this imam comes for 2-3 hours. Yeah, okay, I can give him 15,000-20,000 pounds a year, and he can go and take social benefits from the government. This is the meaning.
And where's the dignity? Where is the dignity in this?
That's what I'm saying. Another mosque was actually when I was working on the street, most of the property on the street are waqf for the mosque. But when it comes to imam, said we don't have money to pay the salary for the imam. This is the mentality and the mindset of the people in the mosque management system. So I think what you need to do is awareness raising campaign to talk about the value of the imam.
Yeah.
About why should we have a highly qualified imam? Why the highly qualified imam should be paid properly like anybody else. Why should the highly qualified imam should be a part of the management committee or make a decision as far?
Yes. They should be there. They should be
I have a document about imam in the Western Arabic. If you want it, I can give it to you. You can translate it, and you can take because it's about 7 or 8,000 words. So, yeah. No, it's not very big. Yeah, I don't know how many pages. Maybe 20, 30 pages.
Yeah, do say
Actually, but if you want to talk about this, you need to talk about the value of the imam. The imam also in the counseling room. You might need women to be with the
So
imam.
this steering committee is going to have men, women, young and old. It's going to be balanced. All cultures, all schools of thought.
What I'm trying to say, don't rush a not mature enough baby at the age of 6 months should not come out of the womb of his mother. Mature the idea, rally around the idea,
Yes.
study the idea very well.
Yes.
February or March next year is too soon.
No. So no, 1 year is good. Phase one is
No.
launch. That's it. Invite people. That's it.
Talking about the launch of the idea.
Oh.
The launch of the idea is need a lot of consultation.
Right.
Give you the example. We have done first phase of zakat philosophy or zakat. Actually,
Yeah, I've been watching that, reading it.
this is actually took us nearly 2 years.
Yeah, yeah.
Phase
I
one.
filled out that form too.
Yeah.
Like this.
The phase one. The phase one now could become a book, but we have not started the phase two or the phase three because it's a new idea. It's advocacy. It's awareness raising, and it's direction.
Yeah.
You put a great idea in a sticky mud, they will just what do you call it, drown it actually in the sticky mud, and nobody will see it because there's a lot of people are anti-development, anti-ijtihad,
Yeah.
anti-renovation, anti-renewal.
Yeah.
Actually,
They want things the way they are because it suits them. Right?
that's why I, for God's sake, consult people
Yeah.
and rewrite
Doing that now.
and rewrites again and again and again. And when you launch it, launch a very strong campaign of the idea. Then
But
after
here-
that, talk about the program.
But here's what I wanted to do. The first launch is a soft launch. Like I would call it part one, phase one, part A, phase one, part B. The part A is getting the steering committee and they're going to develop the idea. So I want to step back and the 11 members are going to now
Are this,
campaign, do everything.
as this 11 member are credible in the society? People can listen to them or not. This
Yeah,
what,
so I've already got a couple.
no, I don't want you to mention the names.
No. Okay, I don't.
Okay, please keep because confidential. You need to get people
Excuse me.
you need to get people who the society, when they look at them on the steering committee, they said yes, we listen to them.
Will you be on our committee?
I'm not sure. I could be a double-edged sword. Sometimes good, sometimes bad for
We
yourself.
need a good balance. We need a good balance.
No
of
problem,
like,
no problem,
yeah,
no problem.
inshallah. Inshallah. Yeah. So, yeah, we just need, because we want people with wisdom. We want Gen Z. We want the young people, because this is their future. These are their kids and grandkids that they need to worry about. Because if we don't preserve the imam, the teacher, the holistic support, our entire next generation, what are they going to do?
Yeah.
If children don't want to grow up to be a beggar, do they?
That's right, yeah. That's
Right?
The role of imam in society, the role of imam in society is crucial.
Yeah, it's really crucial. So I'm not in any rush, but I do think that we need to, I'm not the expert, so I need to find the 11 experts to set that team up, and then they will develop it. They will do the campaign. It'll be their plans and their strategies, you know? Yeah.
All the best, inshallah. All the
Yeah,
best.
thank you, Jazakallah. It was so amazing speaking to you. Do you have any last bit of advice for on a spiritual level or on a founder level? Just the last few words. What would you like to say to our listeners and our audience, inshallah?
I would say one thing is don't rush.
Okay.
Don't rush anything. And if you fail, sometimes try again. Because failure is the first step of success and the achievement and the excellence. Nobody tried and succeeded from the first step or the first trial. The novelist or the Nobel Peace Prize winners, they maybe failed hundreds of thousands of times before they have been awarded. This number two. Education is the cornerstone. The role of woman in Islam, especially the mother and the family, is يعني instrumental. You cannot just ignore the role of mother,
Yeah.
the role of woman in Islam in society as well as the role of youth. Islamic belief been built in the 80s on the shoulder of secondary school students and university students
Wow.
from 84 to 92 actually. And a farmer like you consider your idea is like a seed to be planted in a soil, fertile soil, good climate. But the farmer like you has to stand next to the seed. It becomes a vegetation, then a small tree, then he or she have to stand next to it and become a habitat. And this will take years. No rush whatsoever. Develop the issue of what's next.
Yeah.
Develop the issue of what's next. Develop the issue of finding the sources of barakah. The
Right.
source of barakah is are in three components in Quran, in Arabic language, and in the seclusive or yeah, not actually the private prayer in the evening or in the afternoon or whatever it is between you and Allah.
Yeah.
Khulwa, khulwa. This is the source of barakah. Whether actually, because if you don't bring barakah around your work, it will never grow fast. It will never grow solidly. You have to have a thinking time.
Right.
Thinking time. Yeah, don't keep jumping like firefighters. No, some of us have to actually to think and direct the course of action. This kind of thinking time would be the crucial element of success or of failure.
Yeah.
Because
Pause. Yeah. Reflect.
firefighters, all of us are firefighters nowadays, unfortunately.
Right.
And the enemy of humanity and the enemy of Islam and the enemy of justice actually are putting a lot of firework in front of us to make us become firefighters, not thinker anymore. Some of the team has to think.
And figure out how to stop the fire in the first place. How to
Last,
push it.
the last and not least is the role of advocacy, the role of research, and the role of research studies as well, and the role of creating think tanks, not just actually research, think tanks as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Amazing. It was amazing listening to you, listening to your more about your projects, your journey, your challenges, your miracles, alhamdulillah. And I do hope that anyone listening, watching our podcast today will be inspired to firstly take on board a lot of the advice that you've given us, amazing wisdom, but also to wake up for tahajjud and, bring barakah into their life through the night prayers, through asking Allah, inshallah. So thank you so much, Dr. Hani, and I'm going to see you on Saturday, inshallah. Maybe you could introduce
Sunday.
Is it Sunday or Saturday?
30th.
Is it Sunday? Okay, yes. So I will see you there, inshallah. And if you can introduce me to Yusuf Islam, that would be amazing. I've listened to him for a long time, inshallah. Anyway, take care. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.